How often do they let you ride them? Has it ever happened?
Very rare. It has. And unfortunately, it's not as funny. Everyone thinks it's going to be funny, and then it just kind of isn't.
Maybe we need to talk about what you're doing when you're riding them.
Oh, yeah.
Good
What? Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn's Sunday School, starring Penn Jillette. My name is Michael Goodell. Matt Donnelly. Penn and I are broadcasting from Show Creator Studios South in Las Vegas. On today's show, we'll talk a little bit about Godot and his shuttlecock. We'll get to the Washington Post article on Debbie Harry, and maybe we'll take some viewer mail. Here he is, preaching love, Mr. Penn Jillette. Preach the love, baby, preach it.
Speaking of preaching love, let her into your heart. Speaking of preaching love, there are, I'm a big collector of song poems.
Yes.
Done by song sharks.
You're the song poem collector.
Yeah, one of them. Me and me and Matt Groening.
Oh, okay.
Me and Matt Groening are big song poem guys. And just to catch you up, someday we'll do a whole show on song poems. But song poems are they no longer really the same way. With the interweb kind of killed them. But used to be ads in like National Enquirer and Midnight and that type of tabloid supermarket magazine that said, "Can you write song lyrics? Send us your song lyrics." You'd send them whatever crazy ass poem you wanted to send them. And you would get a letter back that said, "Boy, you could be a songwriter, but we need demos. So we'll write music and we'll make a demo, and then you can sell this in Nashville or Hollywood, and we'll all be rich. We probably need about $100 for the demos." And even idea of the demographic they were working on, that $100 would be sometimes over 2-year payments, right? And then they would have these guys called song sharks, a lot of them out of Boston and New York. And they would get musicians in, and they would read down the charts cold of these songs written by people. And they were amazing because it's lyrics written by people with no skill, but also no cynicism, and then being done by people with absolutely nothing but cynicism. And sometimes— And skill. Tremendous skill. Sometimes like hardcore, like guys that played with Miles, would come in and do song sharking for a day. So they are doing a new song every 5 minutes and just banging through them with barely charts. And there are singers that are reading the words cold to the tune. And famously, a gentleman in the 70s wrote a song called Stevie Wonder's Penis, that the lyrics was, "Stevie Wonder's penis is a wreck because he's blind, a wreck because he's blind." And they wrote back and said, "Yes, you're a great songwriter, but we can't say Stevie Wonder. We have to change it to Blind Man." And he paid his money and he got his demo and then he released it. And they tried to sue him. And he said, "Wait a minute, you said that this demo could be sold." So Blind Man's Penis was actually in the punk circles I was in the late 70s, traveled around. And then there's been a few collections that are out that you can find. Now, the new version of this, or another version of this, that unfortunately, because of the way we found song poems, right, where they would print 25 copies of an album that had a record album, vinyl, that had 25 songs on it. And they would send those 25 songs to the people that had songs on there.
Yeah.
So you'd have 25 people send in, do demos, and you'd send these songs out called America's Greatest New Songwriters. And after you paid your $200, your song would be on one of these albums. But some of the albums would come back, the addresses wouldn't go, or they'd get a few too many printed, and they would dump them into record bins at Salvation Armies. And people like Tony Ardolino in NRBQ and Matt Groening and me and a few other people would look for these in Salvation Armies and buy them. So they were only copies. And you go through hundreds of songs to find one good song. When you find a good song, it's a great one. Now, that happened a little bit with making videos in the 80s and cassettes, but the financial situation changed. And then I found out that they started to do porn, where you would write in and say to porn people what you wanted, and they would deliver you an actual video. The problem is, since it's all digital, that just gets sent to the people, they have it, and then it's erased by the people who do it. I mean, they don't care.
Right.
Or it's stored on some hard drive some we can't get to. It doesn't spill into the culture the way song poems did. And I used to play song poems for people. I did this for you, Matt. I think I played some for you, Godot. And I would really judge people because if people laughed at them, I never felt the same way about those people again.
Right.
I had to feel that there was love with it, even though it's insane stuff, just insane, you know.
Big Wooden Brush is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Just love it.
And the great thing is I was out with like Dana Gould and Joel Hodgson and a bunch of people sitting around in L.A., and somebody started singing Big Wooden Brush, and everybody at the table joined in. I mean, it's that part of that culture. If you're someone over 50 that was in the punk movement in the 70s, you know, and the words I'm saying are big wood and brush, not big wooden brush, big wood and brush. And the lyrics are, do you know the difference between big wood and brush? And the metaphor the songwriter's making is big wood is the love of your life, and brush are the little affairs that come along.
Right.
And do you know the difference between big wood and brush? And it has great lines in it, like he said he was late because he'd run over a woman's foot. And it's horrible because it's being written in one accent and sung in another. So the rhyme scheme goes, he said he was late because he'd run over a woman's foot. This was the start of his way to another route. And you go, no, the person that wrote it pronounced it root. So it rhymed with foot. But it's really, really beautiful stuff. And it gives you this feeling. And I now look back, when I was a dishwasher there at Bill's, world famous Bill's restaurant in Greenfield, Massachusetts. The man who worked, the afternoon shift and the night shifts were all held down by high school students. But the day shift during school time was held down by a gentleman named Harold. And Harold was very unattractive, big, bald, fat, and not smart. Very, very kind, very sweet, but a lot of trouble even negotiating duties of a dishwasher. I really liked him. We would overlap a little bit on some stuff. And I didn't remember till years later that Harold said to me that he would pay money to send his songs in and get them recorded, which is why I'm writing an opera about Harold that's about song poems, but I haven't gotten to that yet. So these porn things, like the songs, most all the songs are about Jesus,
right,
and are horrible. But every once in a while, there's a song about Richard Nixon or Jimmy Carter or Walking on the Moon, or I Like Yellow Things, one of my favorite songs there. I Like Yellow Things. And Teenagers Listen to Me. Songs like that show up that are great. And Beat on the Traps. There's some great. And these are all available easily on iTunes. If you look up song poems, they'll pop up. And they'll blow your mind. They're wonderful. I'm not even getting to my point yet. Song poems, something we should do a whole show on and play them because they're brilliant. But so the porn ones, I was talking to someone about who does these, a porn performer. Mm-hmm. And it was explained to me that mostly it's just yelling the person's name while they orgasm. But some of them are interesting. You know, butterscotch pudding in a Christmas tree. You know? And the good thing about song poems is they could leak into the culture so we could get them in kind of a Dada way. But the porn doesn't really leak out there like that, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be able to cherry pick, so to speak, the porn that came in like that. Because this idea of amateurs and hardened pros interacting is fascinating. And with that in mind, we got a letter. When did you know I was going there?
Just now.
Just now.
Just now.
With all that in mind, we got a letter from Mike Hodgkiss that now Matt Donnelly will read.
Okay. I dreamt about the show last night, and all Godot wanted to talk about was some great chocolate chip cookies he had this week. You, however, talked a lot about how you'd been through 2 impeachments of presidents and how long it took. You didn't know if it would take because there isn't much evidence. You were extremely informed about the situation despite not reading the news, anymore. And then Matt went a little conspiracy theorist and talked about what the Republicans were going to do to get past while the Democrats were celebrating too early and not paying attention. It was very interesting and very real. And the only thing that really threw me was that you signed off with a clear your cookies like you had in the past. And I don't believe in prophecy, but it was very vivid and a fun thought experiment to try to remember as I wake up today.
Yeah. So, you know what? I was looking at this thing this week about why chocolate chip cookies are different textures.
There are a lot of different textures.
Chewy, crisp, soft. You know, why they're so flat, why they're tall, things like that.
Now, did you ever call them Toll House cookies?
No.
You never did?
I don't think
My
I did.
mom called them Toll House cookies. Do you know why they're called Toll House cookies? I don't know, but go on with your cookies.
I presume because they were Toll House chips.
Oh, the Toll House is a brand.
The brand, yeah, the brand
Toll
of
House.
chips. I think I'm pretty sure that's what it was because
Go
they
on.
came like that.
But
you know,
Nestle has a Toll House thing, right?
Yeah.
and the recipe is on.
Maybe Nestle bought Toll House
I bet
because
that's
Nestle
true.
bought everything. They're a totally owned subsidiary of Equicorp.
Right.
It's all
Right.
Equicorp.
Well, that's
So why are there different textures?
you know, everybody uses the Toll House cookie recipe as kind of the basis for everything. But then people started adding more butter, or which would tend to make them flatter. Or people add brown sugar instead of
Trying
white
to make
sugar.
them what?
Flatter.
People like a
More
flatter
butter
cookie.
makes them flatter?
Yeah, they flatten out.
Okay.
But also there's
It has the opposite effect on me, just so
Right.
we're clear.
and so like if you add brown sugar to them instead of regular sugar, they'll be chewier
I like brown sugar.
because it's I'm trying to remember the difference.
Less refined.
Hydroscopic. What? Hydroscopic instead of hydrophobic.
Right.
Brown sugar sucks the water into them, and so they come up with different textures. And so it's a pretty cool. You know, it's
I
a weird.
always thought that brown sugar was simply just an aesthetic choice.
It is not. It
No,
actually has a
brown
different
sugar
physical quality.
is less refined and has more molasses in it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you use like
So I think you should shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm admitting I don't. I just
but another thing is granulated sugar also makes them flatter, and brown sugar will make them taller because it's pulling in the stuff. Melted butter, they turn out like a different texture, kind of a different brownish.
that's it. We're going. We're going refined sugar. We're going a lot of butter, and I'm going to toss these underneath people's doors.
That's right. Well, if you go
Flat-ass
all
chocolate
granulated sugar,
cookie.
you'll make them the flattest, and you can slide them under people's hotels' doors.
These chocolate chips will stand like Everest on my very flat cookie.
But also, baking soda and baking powder, those are different things.
Some people don't know that, and those people have kitchen accidents.
Yes, those people have some very funny souffles.
Yeah, very, very funny.
But I'm trying to remember the difference. But baking soda is like a chemical reaction, and I think baking powder is a thermal reaction.
Okay.
So I think that those create different textures in the cookies as well.
Now, what chocolate chip cookies do you like the most? I mean, I want to say we're talking about chocolate chip cookies, and I'm going through the second impeachment of my life. But go ahead.
No, I know.
Let's keep our priorities.
Almost
brown
three.
sugar,
Okay, almost
extra
three.
butter. Brown sugar, extra butter is when I cook them. That's the way I like.
Now that I'm vegan,
Okay.
and the idea of butter,
Okay, margarine.
margarine works just as well.
Yes, it
For
does.
flattening or for taste?
For taste.
And flattening?
And probably for flattening. I don't know. I didn't try it. I tried it with butter. What can I say? You caught me. Caught me red-handed. I only did it with butter.
I have found since I have been vegan and more hardcore vegan that my desire for a cookie now and again has gone up.
Yeah.
Cookies
or a cake.
A good vegan cookie.
There are some good vegan cookies.
There are some really good vegan cookies.
You know, fortunately, somebody has that skill.
Yeah, there's those kind of biggish cookies in the white with the picture, 2 cartoon pictures of hippies on the cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. They say they're the greatest cookies in the world.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what the box says.
Yeah, not a box. It's a plastic wrapper. You get them like in convenience stores, about that size, about the size of a CD.
Yeah, and there's $6
to put in something that's contemporary, about the size of a flop,
size of a horse,
but smaller than a horse.
Small horse,
smaller than a horse.
There's some tiny horses.
So what else can I say about? I want to get to the impeachment.
Not the 10-inch floppy disk or the 3.5-inch, but the 5-inch, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the plastic one.
The ones that the entire nuclear arsenal of the United States of America is still on.
So 1980 to 1984 is the era that we're
I have a friend who bought one of those, one of the first CDs to come out, and he didn't have a CD player, but he hung it on a string from the mirror in his car because he thought it was so pretty.
Well, that's nice. That's
cool?
nice. A friend of mine who was in Close Encounters said that he thought that CDs were invented just for cello music. So cello music you want to have on a CD. Other than that, you're done.
What?
Of course, CDs were invented for the Beethoven Ninth Symphony, right?
I forget which one, but one of them, yes.
I believe it's either the 5th or the 9th. One of the designers decided that was the length of time that a CD should be. The whole symphony could go on.
Oh, wow.
Without changing discs. It's really interesting that fellow was not a fan of the Ring Cycle by Wagner. or CDs would have been the size of a horse.
So the chocolate chip cookie was invented by Ruth Graves Wakefield and
Can you
Sue
imagine being the
Brides.
inventor? Did she die incredibly wealthy? Because if she didn't, there is no justice in the world.
Yeah, like if she were to come back now,
Right.
Like, or come back really everywhere,
She would knock Mrs. Fields down.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, Teller once said the funniest live performance art thing I think I've ever heard. Teller and I were working in my apartment in New York City. We were supposed to. We had
Ponderosa?
the Penderosa. We were in my loft in New York, and we had a Saturday Night Live, a Letterman, both coming up within 2 weeks that we needed brand new bits for. And we were exhausted. We were doing 8 shows a week on Broadway, and we were working on our home video.
Yeah.
And none of us were sleeping. And we were trying to come up with 2 new bits. And we had no ideas. And the New York Times was open on my coffee table as Teller and I sat with no ideas. And it said that Mrs. Fields was appearing live at Macy's. And we could meet Mrs. Fields. People could meet Mrs. Fields. And Teller looked out at the ads and went, I think we should go meet Mrs. Fields. And I said, yes. So we shirked.
Yeah.
We played hooky, and we went down to see Mrs. Fields. And we were standing in line. At this time, we were on TV a lot in New York. So we were standing in line for Mrs. Fields, and people were also talking to us and giving autographs and stuff. And we stood in line properly. We went up to Mrs. Fields, and Teller said to her, hello, Mrs. Fields. Is there really just one of you? Or are there like a zillion Mrs. Fields, like Santa Claus? And I became hysterical. He looked her right in the eye and asked her that. And when she laughed, he kept looking her in the eye and said, are there a lot of you?
I want an answer.
Like Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Or is there just one of you? She said, I'm the one, Mrs. Fields. And Teller said, good, and took a cookie and walked away.
Now, Mrs. Fields, I've met Mrs. Fields several times, and she is first off, not a grandma. First off, a really pretty blonde woman.
Yes, well, she was, young. She was about our age.
I know, but when you
and
think
I was like
Mrs.
35.
Fields, we heard the name.
No, I would think Mrs. Fields, piece of ass. First
because
thing.
you've met her.
No, anybody with a cookie to me is a piece of ass.
Mrs. Fields.
She used to come to the show.
Piece of ass.
And bring cookies. Bring warm cookies.
Well, of course she would bring warm cookies.
After she had sold the company.
Oh, she
would still go buy them and come to the show with warm cookies and say, hi, I'm Mrs. Fields.
Link.
Have some cookies.
Link, who owns all the Krispy Kremes.
Yeah.
When he goes backstage to any show, he brings like 4 dozen donuts.
That's a well-liked man.
Yeah.
Toll House is named after the Toll House Inn. where they invented it.
They invented Toll. They
Yeah,
invented them.
at the Toll House Inn.
It's a good name. Toll House is a better name than chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, I like the idea that you would have to give someone a chocolate chip cookie to go over a bridge or something. That's what the Toll House is. At one side,
Toll House Troll. Troll Toll. Hey, how about sleeping?
Yeah.
What do you think about sleeping?
Good idea.
I love my Sleep Number bed. I was just on the road. I don't know where I was. I have no idea where I was. Where was I yesterday? Isn't that amazing? Oh, I was in Vancouver.
Yes.
Vancouver, a very nice hotel in Vancouver. And I was
city.
very, very happy. Very, very happy to get back to my bed. Do you know that more than 1,800 NFL players are now sleeping on Sleep Number beds, improving their game with better sleep? Did you know that?
I didn't.
And if you sleep better, you perform better. I've been keeping my Sleep Number firmness hard. I like that.
that's right. You're having some back problems and you cranked it up.
Just fixed it. That's all you need. All you need is a Sleep Number bed. That's all I needed. Maybe that's not the best medical advice. Sleep Number beds allow you to adjust each side to your ideal firmness, comfort, and support. Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements, automatically adjust to keep you sleeping comfortably through the night. With SleepyQ, technology inside the bed, it tracks how you're sleeping so you can know every morning how well you've slept and gain insights for your best sleep. Come in during the fall sale where a Queen Sleep Number 360 smart bed is now only $1,399. Sleep Number is the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. You'll only find Sleep Number at one of their 600 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find one near you at sleepnumber.com/
Penn.
sleepnumber.com/
Penn.
SleepyQ. Yeah. What else we got here? I can't believe anybody isn't using stamps.com.
It's great.
But if there's someone out there that's not using it, start now. No one has time to go to the post office. You're busy. Who's got time for all that traffic, parking, lugging all your mail and packages? It's a real hassle. That's why you need Stamps.com. One of the most popular time-saving tools for small businesses, Stamps.com eliminates trips to the post office and saves you money with discounts that you can't even get at the post office. How is that possible? Stamps.com brings all the amazing service of the U.S. Post Office right to your computer, whether you're a small office sending invoices, an online seller shipping out products, or even a warehouse sending thousands of packages a day. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. I'm going to skip over all they've written here because it's just, we don't need it.
Yeah.
If you send anything, anytime, ever through the mail, get Stamps.com.
Yeah.
There's no competition. There's no other way to do it. It's easy. It's simple.
It's cheaper and faster.
Cheaper, faster. It's a no-brainer, saves you time and money. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitments. You know how important that is to you, Ed.
You don't have to take Stamps.com to Hawaii to get rid of it.
No, you don't. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in
Penn.
That's Stamps.com, enter
Penn.
Yeah, that's right. I would tell, you know about HelloFresh?
I do know about HelloFresh.
hello.
Know about
Fresh.
HelloFresh?
HelloFresh keeps sending me food.
Yeah, but now
Even though they're supposed to be sending it to you.
I changed the email. I changed the address this morning.
Oh, no.
So I'll be getting the food soon.
Diabolical.
But tell us about HelloFresh.
HelloFresh has vegetarian options that are delicious and are really, really useful. Because for me, one of the things when switching to vegetarian, one of the most difficult things is that I have a dozen recipes that I know that are great that I can make anywhere in my head. And I don't have that with vegetarian. And now when I go home, they have it right there. It's a box of food with the instructions on how to make this dinner, and I can hand it to my kids. And they will make a vegetarian dinner.
I will tell you, just make this clear, it's not only vegetarian.
It's not.
They do all sorts of, they all do all sorts of stuff for those who are among us who do not have a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle. And they also have the cookie dough and garlic bread. You can add cookie dough. They have chocolate chip cookies.
What if they add extra butter?
It's really, really good. It's delicious. Everything's measured. And how are the vegetables they send you?
They are
Quality?
great. They're fresh and beautiful and as nice as anything you would get at any store.
I can't wait to do. What was your favorite this week?
Enchiladas with a green salsa. Really good.
Real good eating.
Really
Real
good.
good eating. Remember, for $80 off your first month, for $80. Wow.
Yeah.
Go to HelloFresh.com/Penn80. Penn80, PENN80, and enter the code Penn80, PENN80. That's HelloFresh.com/Penn80, and then enter the code Penn80. It seems like you wouldn't need, well, never mind. I will tell you, it's like receiving 8 meals free. 8 free meals, just for signing up. You get $20 off your first 4 boxes. HelloFresh.com/Penn80 and put the Penn80 code in. It's Hello Fresh. Hello. We'll get that better as we go on. So remember, HelloFresh, keep advertising with us, and soon we will have
your own song.
You'll have your own song. Takes us a while to do them, but we will get to them. One more thing I want to talk about. This is a brand new thing. There's this new thing called Blinkist.
Yeah.
Blinkist. Blinkist. I just downloaded it.
Right.
It's a really nutty idea. My buddy Al Goldstein used to have a person he hired. This is true. No jive to this. He had a person whose full-time job it was to read books that Al Goldstein's friends were talking about. That person would read the book and then explain to Al what it was about. So Al could hear in 15 or 20 minutes what a bestseller was talking about.
Okay.
And it was a really good idea. Really good.
Someone would summarize these for him.
Yeah, and pull out the important parts. And it sounds really stupid because you want the full experience. But I mean, for some stuff people are talking about, you just don't have time, or you're driving and stuff. Blinkist is that for just everybody. It's unique. It works on your phone, your tablet, your web browser. Blinkist takes the best key takeaways and need-to-know information from thousands of nonfiction books and condenses them down into just 15 minutes that you can read or listen to. And they're pretty great.
Wow. That's kind of what you do.
Yeah.
You send out a review whenever you've read a book.
I do.
And it contains a lot of just the highlights.
Successful people, business leaders are well known for reading a lot of books. Blinkist made for busy people like you who want to get the main points of books quickly so you can start using that information right away. And with its audio feature, Blinkist makes it easy to finish a book during your commute, on a lunch break, or while you exercise. 15 minutes is a good hunk of time.
That is perfect.
It's exactly right. You know, you could do 2 of them while you're exercising. In my case, I can do 2 of them in the commute. I think it's really good. I just listened to part of one of them. I don't want to say what I listened to. So what I really did was I went to a book that people are talking about that I was really disagreed with the author and really didn't feel good about and did not want to invest. I mean, this is an off-label use.
Yeah.
And probably not something they want to tell the people they're hiring for that. But it's a real good use because I got a lot of the information from it and found a lot of really good points in it. And I just pulled it up on my computer and read it down. The most popular books, and by the way, none of these are the ones I'm meaning. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You need to know about that. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You need to know about that. 4-Hour Work Week, the Tim Ferriss thing. I'm going to go on Tim Ferriss's podcast, by the way. Becoming by Michelle Obama. I'd love to get 15 minutes on that. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Most read, Getting Things Done, The Power of Habits. Oh, I love The Power of Habits. I read the whole thing. You know something? Power of Habits could have been summed up in 15 minutes. It really could have been. Factfulness, I also read that. I'd like that summed up in 15 minutes. This is a really good. Fire and Fury, the White House thing. You really want to read that in 15 minutes. With Blinkist, you get unlimited. Here's the incredible thing. Unlimited access to read or listen to its in the massive library. It's a massive library. I looked at it. Nonfiction books. All the books you want and all for one low price./ now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special offer just for our audience. Go to Blinkist, Blinkist.com/Penn. Try it free for 7 days and save 25% off your new subscription. That's Blinkist, Blinkist.
Job title,
Blinkist.
not descriptor.
What?
Job title, not descriptor.
What's that?
Blinkist.
Blinkist, yeah.
IST, not EST.
Yeah, IST, not EST. Blinkist.com/Penn to start your free 7-day trial. And you get 25% off only when you sign up at Blinkist.com/Penn. Yeah.
I just downloaded it right now. That's how effective our ad was.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I kind of liked it. So I almost, in my lifetime, two of the three presidents who have ever been impeached are going to have been impeached. And I had Nixon part of the way there.
Yeah.
Nixon was going to be impeached.
Yeah,
and actually,
So you're 2.5.
we are now at a place in our society where Nixon is the one we point to as taking the high road. Nixon was the guy that said, the country is more important than my problems.
Yeah.
Drunken, crazier than a shithouse rat, mean Nixon was the high road.
Yeah.
Now, there's all this talk that this is what troubles me. We fall into this, the enemy of my friend.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the stupidest things ever. It is the worst kind of team thinking. I heard my wife do it briefly when she said, Scaramucci's been saying some interesting. What?
Spicer's dancing is great.
Strange bedfellows.
Yeah, strange bedfellows is right. You really forget what Trump sometimes does to me is he makes me forget how craven and venal and wrong the people who are against him can be.
Right.
You
you want to be on their side.
Sure do.
We don't like him.
But there sure can't be sides. That's the problem. And we're now going to go through. Remember, you don't remember at all.
It's like when you get a playbook from a pro-vaccination person on how to mess with anti-vax people.
Yeah.
Manipulate them.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just try to tell the truth as you see it.
Yeah.
And if any discussion I see about the strategy of impeachment, if the president of the United States did impeachable offenses and you believe that, you bring impeachment. You're not supposed to strategize. And I know that makes me naive and stupid and wrong, but I really do believe it. And all this talk about how Clinton, his approval went up after he was impeached. But I want to bring up an important issue. This really troubles me, and that is about lying.
Yes.
Okay. When Bill Clinton was impeached, that whole long depends on what is,
yes,
and all of that, all of my friends said sex is nobody's business. It was okay for him to lie about that. Now, the fact that the Clinton machine tried to destroy Monica Lewinsky, I am not behind it all. I know that there's a power imbalance that has to be dealt with, but I don't know if you are on, let's get out of politics for a moment. If you're on a red carpet or something, a step and repeat, and somebody from TMZ or National Enquirer or something like that, and I like TMZ, they ask me questions all the time. I'm fine with them. But if they yell out a question that you think is really, really inappropriate, and they demand an answer, must you say, I will not answer? That's not a polite question? Or is it okay to lie? Is it okay to lie?
All right.
If the question are there questions that allow the answer to be a lie? Now, we know this is the light question. I mean, we know I think, do these jeans make my ass look fat?
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's always an honest question because you say no. No, the jeans don't make your ass look fat. It's not the jeans. Go ahead.
No, I mean, like, Norm Macdonald, trying to promote a show. People started asking him about, comedians that were in trouble. And he had
Say what?
He started asking Norm Macdonald, when he was out promoting his TV show, ended up getting in trouble for his answers about Louis C.K. and Roseanne.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
And the truth is, here we are. this many months later, how many of us give a shit about Norm Macdonald's opinions about anything?
We don't.
Right.
No.
So, like, in those situations, you kind of like, is it okay to play it? Be like, no one cares what I actually think about these things. You know, you have to like shout that back to TMZ.
That would have been the right answer for Norm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there would have been.
Like, no one's going to care what I think.
Is there a situation where we have this feeling? You know, I have a friend, and I was just going to say his name, and boy, I'm not gonna. If I had said this person's name, it would be a big problem. We'd have to go in and edit it out and then swear everybody listening to live secrecy. But a very good friend of mine who is a thoughtful person and does not go off half-cocked.
So it's not me.
No. Nobody in this room
Both of us can wipe our brows.
said to me multiple times, the definition of a friend is someone who will lie for you under oath without being asked.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's always that question of if your allegiance is to people or to ideals.
Right.
It's a very hard question.
Very difficult.
Very hard for me. And are you forced to tell the truth when the person is using that in a jujitsu way against you? If you are someone who's known to be a truth teller, like, for instance, if I go to see a show that is unspeakable, there is a show in Vegas that is that was agreed to be the worst show that had ever appeared in Vegas. The reviews said that, people who did that job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I went to see this show, opening night, Teller and I went together. It was horrible. Now, Teller and I knew when we walked out that there was a lot of press. It was a big opening.
Yeah.
There was a lot of press. And we knew that the press would ask us what we thought of the show. And we knew that if we told the truth, we would be seen as petty because we have a show, and it would be seen as not generous, unkind. It's opening night of someone else's show in Vegas. We can't say anything bad. And yet we do a show called Bullshit.
Right. Where
And so if we were to go,
veracity is everything.
it's great, then everybody who knows us would go, you lying sacks of shit. How can you do a show? That show is terrible. Everybody knew the show was terrible. So Teller and I's solution as the stand-up guys we are,
Yeah.
is Teller and I, and this is absolutely true with no exaggeration, during the final applause, we said goodbye to everybody at our party, and Teller and I, like Hard Day's Night, ran at full speed.
Yeah.
So the press had not been organized yet. They were just setting up. The applause was still going on, and we ran. And I mean we ran, and I can't tell you the distances. I could tell you what hotel it was. We ran.
These are people who walked away from an airplane crash.
We walked away from an
walked
airport.
away from the plane crash where the plane might explode.
Yeah.
They are running in this situation.
We ran until we were breathless, until we were doing that thing where you lean over and put your hands on your knees and go, and then looked behind us. What I'm saying is, if you can't run,
Yeah.
is it okay to lie? If someone asked you a very personal sexual question, for instance, about your wife, Matt Donnelly, that the answer I'm not going to answer would not be appropriate.
Yeah.
Would you just lie and feel comfortable about it?
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
For your wife, I think that there are very, very few consequences, though. I think that's a bad example. Because if you lie about something you're doing with your wife or that your wife likes or doesn't like, you don't hurt anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You save your own ass. But if there's something else you're covering, then it's different.
There's
I mean,
did he murder that person?
because I'll just tell you,
Did your friend murder that person?
I started out believing that Clinton lying under oath was bad and impeachable and awful.
Right.
And as time goes on, it seems like a lot of Democrats have changed to think that Clinton was wrong. All the people I argued with, that they thought he was right.
Yeah.
It was nobody's business. He was okay for him to lie. And I said, no, you cannot lie under oath no matter what. Now all this time has passed, and I believe I reversed.
Funny. With everybody else reversing.
Everybody else is reversed, and I think I've said, lie under oath. Just go ahead. Now that I've said that, and that this is recorded, if I'm ever under oath, this will be played back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good cover.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like you said, lying under oath for your friend without being asked.
Not a good cover, Godot. The opposite of a good cover. Bad cover.
No, it's going to work either way. You're going to be able to use it either way. You'll have a good lawyer.
So the conspiracy theories that are popping up while the impeachment is going on, okay? The impeachment of Trump is going to be what? The rest of the term, right?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If not the next one.
What's that?
If not the next one.
It's not the next one. And it seems like that's all anyone cares about now is the impeachment. And it does not seem likely that he actually gets impeached and thrown out of office. If he is, he will be the first ever, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why like scholars are saying like this is not what impeachment is for.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that it even seems politically motivated should take it off the table. People who have studied the impeachment and why it was put in the Constitution say that like it's really for like, whoops, boy, do we not as a whole want this person to be in office?
Well, that kind of was going to happen with Nixon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people would argue that the Republicans have gone so nutty.
Yeah.
That, do you think that there are Republicans? Oh, I don't know. There must be. There must be people who actually think that Trump is qualified to be president with no asterisk whatsoever.
Oh, sure.
There are?
Yeah.
Republicans?
No, I mean, with no asterisk. Not he's better than anybody the Democrats could have. Not he's doing good things, but actually think that this person, the way they speak, the way they tweet, the way they act is exactly what the president of the United States should be. Because there are people who believed that Obama was exactly what a president should be in this country.
Right.
I can believe that. I have a lot of trouble believing that anybody thinks that this is what we want a
You
president.
think that, he's doing some of the things we want, and so let's...
No, he's doing everything we want. I'll even give you that. National Rifle Association. Any one issue person.
Yeah.
One issue, abortion is murder.
Sure.
We want to, boom, Trump's your guy. National Rifle Association, boom, Trump's your guy.
Yeah.
Deregulation, boom, Trump's your guy. I hate immigration, boom, Trump's your guy. Okay? All of that I'm completely down with. But is there somebody who will not give you any sort of qualification and just say Trump is when I was 15 years old and pictured the president of the United States, what the ideal president should be.
There's one, Giuliani. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't he the only one?
So this is going to go on forever.
Yeah.
And now the Democrats just think impeachment. CNN just thinks impeachment.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that.
what do you think?
I think that everyone is being cautious, and I think the strategy is actually to spread it out past the election and only use impeachment proceedings as muckraking to dig up shit to dominate. Basically, like Trump won by dominating the news cycle 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the only way to get equal time on air is to muckrake via congressional hearings and bring things up all the time so that things that are anti-Trump get as much airtime as pro-Trump stuff does on mainstream media.
So that's the plan.
Yeah. I think that's the actual plan.
That probably is, isn't it?
Yeah. And and meanwhile, if it's successful, what they don't realize is the Republicans have a whole thing in place.
What do you mean?
Right? So, like, they're successful, right?
Who?
say the Democrats are successful. Full impeachment.
Impeachment, yeah.
Get
Okay.
the news stuff going.
The Republicans don't have to lose their playbook in any way. They have everything in chance. This guy's been a figurehead for the Republican Party and their beliefs the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's out of power through impeachment but not through election, then they still have a vice president who takes over as president. Mm-hmm. They still have the playbook of how to logjam the entire judicial system. And the one branch of government that no one's looking at is the judicial system, which we're talking about lifetime appointments. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking like every single judge, they already knew it. They already knew how to logjam every one of Obama's judge choices.
They did.
And they already knew how to get over 600 judges approved on the federal benches across the board already with Trump as president. And they have an actual like lineup and like they know exactly which judges qualify for what, and know which positions are up. And they're still going to find a way to make lifetime appointments for 8 years across the whole.
Are you finally crossing over into conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I am. Because Mike Hodgkiss told me to go full conspiracy theorist in his mail.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure you're actually yelling out his name during orgasm.
There you go, Mike. Was that your full? Was that my full?
I think Mike wanted more out of you. For you to say, well, everybody's concentrating on the impeachment.
Yeah.
Well, all that's dominating the news cycle 24 hours a day. The Republicans have a cabal of people who are going to be sneaking things through that no one's paying attention to. Try that.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the impeachment's going to go on forever.
Right. But while that's going to happen, they're going to approve more Supreme Court justice slots, and they're going to appoint six conservative justices. 6 conservative justices in the next 6 months.
You're holding up 5 fingers.
That's because that's what they want you to think.
They've poisoned Ginsburg.
I have 6 judges going in, and they're going to have a conservative bench for multiple generations.
So you think that they're happy with the impeachment?
I do.
Yeah. The Republicans have actually orchestrated the impeachment so they can sneak in stuff.
Do you think they're working on longevity drugs so that they can keep the judges they've got in longer?
They're using
That's
using special pills that will keep Neil Gorsuch alive for 250 years.
There is, I will tell you, going through 2 impeachments, I didn't pay much attention to the Clinton one. I mean, at that time I was doing Bill Maher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was just there going.
Show, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the show. And that's where I said, if you've been proven a liar instantly, that's where I said, in defending Monica Lewinsky, because for most of this, no one even remembers this now. The times have changed so.
Significant.
People don't even remember that a lot of people presented Monica Lewinsky as a gold-digging temptress.
Yeah.
You know, this 18-year-old woman was actually manipulating the president of the United States, and she was controlling. And
for her, I just want to say, I just want to throw this in right now. For her, that was being bitten by a radioactive spider. Mm-hmm. She is now a superhero.
Yeah.
She's fantastic and cool and bulletproof.
Yeah. She's being ridiculed, honestly, as an idiot who got caught. That was like the main thing. Like, in terms of her being ridiculed on every late night talk show and Saturday Night Live and everything else, it was simply that she did what she did and got caught. And that we knew specifics about their interactions.
I thought Monica Lewinsky, and that's when I said to Bill Maher that there was not a president of the United States that I wouldn't blow. Yeah. If I had a chance. Then they elected Trump. Just to make me alive.
The lengths that the people will go to just to shut you up.
Just to shut me the fuck up.
More proof that you are indeed the center of the universe.
Yes. Absolute proof of that. Absolute proof of that. Well, okay, Mike Hodgkiss. That was Penn Sunday School. We're ready, were you?
That was Penn Sunday School.
Clear your cookies. Cha-cha-cha, you become naked.
You have a specific line.
What's that?
I don't believe in prophecy, but it was very good. Oh, no, wait, that's not. Never mind.
What do you got here? No, there's no particular line.
No, I thought there was specific. Okay, never mind.
No. I think it would be funny if you hit all the bullet points of Mike's dream without comment. You said without comment. We made comment. I want to talk about song poems and tie it all together.
That was a nice time.
But I think people should send us. What they want the show to be. We can just do it. That was fun.
That was fun.
You know, we love you all, but we especially love Mike Hodgkiss.
Please don't tweet me about this. Okay, great.